This is the Rufus Stone in the New Forest National Park. Rewind to 1100, and it was here where it's alleged that King William II, known as William Rufus, was accidentally struck and killed by a stray arrow whilst out hunting. Now, he was a most unpopular ruler, and rumours soon spread that his death was actually an assassination orchestrated by his younger brother, Henry I. It's a 9 centuries old whodunit mystery in a beautiful county with an intriguing history. Hampshire borders 5 other counties, with its coast skimming the Solent, a stretch of water separating it from the Isle of Wight. The county boasts 2 national parks, the New Forest and the South Downs, which attract visitors drawn by rolling hills and beautiful vistas. In the far western corner of the Downs, a 21-mile footpath named Hangers Way makes for a stunning ramble. At the path's end sits the pretty South Downs village of East Meehan. Built around its stream, the winding lanes and attractive cottages make this one of the park's most well-preserved villages. An extensive history is also present in the county's coastal region. Portsmouth has long been a port of naval prestige, with many seafaring treasures. Smaller marinas dotted along the coast present numerous sailing opportunities. Charter a boat or head out for a tour from Leamington Harbour to explore the inland waters, or head to the Isle of Wight, only 40 minutes away and home to the world-class sailing competition Cowes Week. With much to keep visitors busy, whether coast or country, for a day trip or a lifetime, this southern county offers genuine rural appeal. The average price of a detached property here in Hampshire is just under £510,000. That's £170,000 above the national figure. Now, clearly, compared to the rest of the UK, that's expensive. So my advice for anyone wanting to relocate here is keep an open mind and do your research. Knowing where to look is key. The New Forest and South Downs National Park do command a premium, as does the north of the county towards Surrey. Those areas are partly responsible for driving up the average price. But if, like today's buyers, you're happy to explore the region a little further, then you may find that things become slightly more affordable. Retired doctor and ordained minister Sarah, her civil engineer husband Peter and their dog Bella currently live on the goodwill of family in Croydon, South London. Winding back through 28 house moves, they first met at university.
We both played the violin, and I was at Barts Middle School and Peter was at City University, and City University had a concert at Christmas. There was one evening where I took a very long time putting my violin away while we waited. I'm glad we came up last night. Yes. And then he proposed about 6 weeks later, which is the fastest thing he's ever done.
Their whirlwind romance led to 2 children, house moves following work around the country, and their first grandchild. So this couple are living proof that quick decisions can really pay off.
We're actually complete opposites, but we seem to work together all right.
Sarah is caring. She does a lot for other people, generally speaking, a lovely person.
But family life hasn't always been so happy, as both Sarah and Peter have faced their share of health issues in recent years.
Basically, at the age of 54, I was diagnosed with stage 3 esophageal cancer. So I had chemotherapy, massive surgery, I was very ill for quite a long time. But this year, I will be 5 years post-treatment and considered cured. So it's wonderful. Lots of prayer and support got us through that. So I had to retire really because of that, and Peter had his heart attack at the age of 61. We decided actually maybe we'll just take note and make the most of what we've got left as long as we've got it.
Granted second chances and looking ahead, this couple know exactly how they intend to spend their precious time.
We're going, hopefully, within 15-20 minutes drive of Somerset Sail on the south coast, within a reasonable drive of Southampton Airport, so we can fly up to Edinburgh. Although Naomi, my daughter, and Bertie, their grandson, in Scotland, we still wanted to return to the south coast because it's warmer.
And it's a big place for people to visit us as well.
Oh yeah, we've already got queues of people waiting.
Yes.
When it happens, the move will also afford Sarah and Peter more time for their hobbies.
We've got how many boxes of books ready to put on shelves? I've got a couple of 1,000+ books.
I have a
Lots of
selection.
You've got loads of DIY and sport, haven't you?
Yes.
And Peter doesn't just stop at reading about his pursuits.
I've done replumbing the whole house, decorating.
And the thing is, apart from plastering, it's as good as any tradesman. So if you get a tradesman and they don't do it so well, you don't like that, do you? So he does it himself.
Yes, I have a critical eye.
With a busy retirement planned and their own house in Warrington sold, Sarah and Peter just need to find a perfect home of their own, which can't come too soon.
Right now, we're living with my sister and her husband, her children that came from university, and my mum and dad. I mean, basically, we can't live our normal life. It's like being on permanent holiday, which is lovely, but it'd be nice to stop.
So it's all systems go to re-establish life together, though both know deciding on their dream home definitely won't be plain sailing.
We've always agreed on the eventual house, haven't we? The difficulty is the process of getting there. That's when we disagree. And that can be quite
Enlightening.
I don't know.
Sarah and Peter want somewhere with good access to the coast and Southampton Airport for those visits to family in Scotland, so our property search will focus towards the southeast of the county. Before we get going, we're catching up to go over their property must-haves. Sarah and Peter, welcome to Hampshire. It's good to be here. Talk me through the type of house that you'd like to live in.
Well, we would like a minimum 3-bedroom house, a light and airy inside, fairly contemporary type of property. Something with a small to medium-sized garden, and something with a study in.
Yeah, large kitchen diner is a real, I think, must for me. We're used to houses with large rooms, so it's about big spaces rather than lots of small rooms.
Your tastes fairly similar because you've both moved quite a bit together, haven't you, because of your jobs?
Yes.
We instantly walk in and know exactly what.
Yeah.
What
Each of the houses we've
right.
ended up with, we've walked in the door and we've both known this is the right one.
What about the setting of the house? How close would you like to be to amenities?
We don't want rural, very rural. We've been in a position where we had to drive everywhere before, so we'd like to be able to walk to shops and a good pub. And a restaurant, ideally.
A village is fine, as long as it's got facilities.
And remind me of your budget?
£600,000 is the absolute top limit for the perfect house.
Okay. We have some beautiful properties lined up. Let's go house hunting. For their top budget of £600,000, Sarah and Peter's ideal home would be a contemporary or refurbished older property with a large kitchen diner and 3 bedrooms for visiting family and friends. Sarah would love a library or study for her extensive book collection, and they both prefer to be close to sailing opportunities on the coast. Location-wise, a village situation with amenities and somewhere to dine would suit them most. We've shortlisted a range of beautiful homes to show our couple, but I'll only divulge the asking prices after they've each made a guess. Our final visit to the mystery house could give them all the living space they want, if they're able to adapt to its rather unusual arrangement. Hitting the road, we're travelling to the small village of North Borehunt in the southeast of the county. A 5-minute drive from the village is historic Wickham. Here, a wide square lined with charming buildings has all the necessary amenities, while the pretty timbered houses along its streets lead to the Chesapeake Mill, named after the captured American frigate whose timbers were used to build it in 1813. Less than 3 miles from this historic village, in a popular semi-rural location, we find a rather curious property with a story to tell. Come in, make yourselves at home.
Thank you.
It was first a chapel. It dates back to 1873.
Wow.
And then at some point between then and when it was converted into a residential home, which was the late 1970s, it was also the local primary school. And there are people that still live on this road that went to school there.
Oh, that's lovely.
And they're in their 90s now. So it has that age, that character, but I'm hoping the clean lines that you're both after.
Yes, it's a really good start. You can see there's fields behind. Should we go?
Hopefully the mix of character with a contemporary feel will chime with our couple as we enter the original chapel entrance to the side of the property.
It's a lovely door. It's amazing.
Once inside, we're straight into the lofty ceilinged sitting room. So this This living space would have been the original chapel.
Right.
Mm.
It's a good size, isn't
Good
it?
size.
A wood burner.
Plenty of windows, lots of light.
It's got beams, but they're all right.
They're high enough.
Yeah, and also they're not dark stained, so they're not making it feel dark.
It's a very Victorian high ceilings, which is very useful.
Since it was a chapel, presumably went all the way up and they put a
Probably the
false
other
floor in or something.
yes.
I'm assuming that's
Yeah, we'll have
happened
to have a look,
upstairs.
don't we? And over there's lots of room for a dining table and some of our bookcases.
She's space planning the furniture, Peter.
Yes.
So you like what you're seeing so far?
Yes.
Let's go see the kitchen. I know how important that is.
A doorway adjacent to the sitting room opens into the heart of the home.
Yes, this is a nice size, isn't it?
More of the kitchen diner, perhaps.
Yes,
that you
this is
had in mind.
more of that continuous space. This is very much more what we had in mind.
The best thing about this kitchen, I think, is the view.
It is
Isn't it?
beautiful.
Beautiful wow factor.
Yeah,
And you have the lovely conservatory area, sort of summer house that comes off the kitchen that has a bigger view of the garden, really.
and that again is just stunning, that view.
Now, there are 3 bedroom options with this house.
Okay.
One of the bedrooms is downstairs, so it's behind this wall with a shower room, a downstairs shower room, so that could be a great
Right.
guest room. And then when it's not being used as a guest room, it would make a nice office space or library. So upstairs, that leaves 2 bedrooms.
Okay.
Let's go and have a look.
With a really encouraging start downstairs, we're continuing our tour upstairs. Here we find a cosy double with exposed beams, a large family bathroom, and the main bedroom, which echoes the origins of this unique home.
Here you have the master bedroom
With the windows, lovely.
with the
Yeah,
original
that's
chapel window.
Very special.
It is, yeah.
And
The rafters shine through.
It's a really big bedroom. I don't know what you're used to, but it's a
no,
nice
this is
size.
a very good size.
Plenty of light coming in here. Absolutely amazing.
I'm not sure I'd even have curtains on that, just keep it as a feature, because nobody can see it. And you could have a blind, couldn't you? Yeah, it doesn't really need very much doing to it at all. And you might change colours or whatever to suit our own taste, but actually, you could move in, put our furniture in, and we could just go with it, really.
Well, all that's left is to see outside and guess the price of this property.
Thinking.
Outside there's a simple lawned area to the front of the property with paths at both sides of the house, giving access to the main garden at the back. Planted with mature shrubs and flowers, this space makes the most of the fabulous views. Features include a dedicated dining area and a useful log store. In the far corner is another seating nook, perfect for catching the last of the sun's rays.
I think it's a lovely setting for this house, actually.
It's beautiful, lots of space, grass for the dog, and a fabulous view.
Should we talk about price? Who'd
Okay.
like to guess first?
I'm going to guess £575,000.
I think it's more like £540,000.
I can reveal that Peter is closer. The house is currently on the market for £545,000.
Well done. That gives you a bit of room, doesn't it?
Yes.
Perhaps a bit of an opportunity there.
Lots to think about.
Now you know the price, everything feels a little bit more in context. Have a look around and then come and find me.
Okay, thank you.
This character property with clean lines sits well under Sarah and Peter's top budget, giving them great scope to make it their own. It's got the 3 bedrooms they asked for and a light, bright kitchen diner, along with the space to create a study. The house lies within easy reach of the coast, where they can fulfill all their sailing ambitions.
I mean, this house in the front is really interesting. Really liked it. Those sort of clean lines and the white aspect is just lovely. And then when you get inside, it's quite surprising the way the space flows. It has real possibilities for us. And there are things we would want to do to personalise it and make it our own, I think, but at the price, it gives us lots of scope for doing that. So yes, that's a very pleasant surprise.
I think there's a lot of potential in this property. There's obviously the space inside, plenty of light coming in, and obviously the countryside around is really fantastic. Because of the views at the back window, I think there may be a battle as to who does the washing up.
It's a lovely house, isn't it?
It is, yes.
You ready to hit the road?
Yes, please.
Our couple are keen to revisit their love of sailing when they move, and keeping in mind that Sarah is also a chorister, we've arranged for them to visit Portsmouth's historic dockyard to learn about a lyrical and nautical practice from curator Alice Roberts-Pratt.
So I hear you've come to Portsmouth today to hear some sea shanties.
Yeah, that's right.
So what was the original use of sea shanties?
Well, they were primarily working songs, so controlling a sailing vessel required a huge amount of human brawn, so they would have to pull together, heave at exactly the same time and at the same moment. So what they did was each task had a different rhythm, so whether it be pumping, hauling, weighing anchor, they put songs to those rhythms, and that's what the sea shanties came from, and they were often adapted hymns or popular music hall songs at the time.
So what kind of ships were shanties used aboard?
They were used aboard small fishing vessels to big tall ships during the age of sail, such as HMS Warrior.
Built by the Royal Navy at Queen Victoria's behest in 1859, the armoured frigate HMS Warrior was constructed from iron and had the heaviest manually hauled anchor in maritime history. So it's apt that Sarah and Peter should be meeting Mike Hepworth, the leader of the King's Pond Shantymen, on board Warrior to hear some of these work-inspired songs.
So it's great to meet you guys. How did you all get singing shanties?
Well, we've been singing shanties for about 17 years. We just like singing, and it's unaccompanied singing, just the voice and harmonies. And each man can lead a shanty and the others join in the chorus. That's how it works. Right. Would you like to have a go with us?
Yeah, that's
great. That's marvellous. Let's do it.
With the confidence of their backing singers, our buyers are willing to give this a try with admirable gusto.
The Essequibo River is the king of rivers, oh! Ho!
We are somebody, oh!
The Essequibo River is the king of rivers, oh! Ho!
We are somebody, oh! Somebody, oh, Johnny, somebody, oh! We are somebody, oh!
The Essequibo captain is the king of captains, oh!
Ho! We are somebody, oh! Somebody, oh, Johnny, somebody, oh! We are somebody, oh!
Yay! Well done! Well done.
After delving into our seafaring oral history, let's hope our coastal contributions also give them something to sing about when we resume our search tomorrow. Sarah and Peter from Warrington are currently staying with family in Croydon, South London. On our property journey, they hope to find the ideal country pad, which revives their love of sailing and has transport links for visits to family. With £600,000 to spend, we're on the hunt for a home in Hampshire. Still to come, our visit to the Mystery House reveals a far from modern timber offering.
I'm pretty sure you've never seen a kitchen quite like this.
That's amazing.
And I get up close and personal to a very different ancient oak structure.
And I thought that she was huge from the upper deck, but this is incredible, the sheer size. Today we have two more properties to see. Later on I'll be showing Peter and Sarah our mystery house, which is a rare, lofty affair. But before that we have another home to view, which does give our couple the light and space they're after, but it may have a compromise attached. For our next house, we're in the pretty village of Hambledon, nestled in the South Downs National Park and 25 minutes drive from the coast. This rural village, surrounded by fields and woods, is famed for being the home of one of the UK's earliest cricket clubs. Formed in 1750, it was led by the landlord of the Bat and Ball pub, which still serves local players today. Period properties line the well-kept floral lane centred on a preserved high street with many listed buildings. They now house useful amenities, including a post office, a shop and a dining hub. A few minutes walk from the centre of the village, on a quiet country lane, stands the next home in our lineup. I don't know if you've noticed, but we've come into the South Downs National Park to see this house.
Like the flint and the brick, that's lovely.
Yeah, that's really nice.
It is, isn't it?
It's quite an attractive house. It it's got an extension as well, which is bonus.
Yeah.
If you look at the outside, it's secure if you want it to be. I think you'd leave this open most of the time, but actually with the dog,
we might have it closed.
You might have it closed, and then this
walk round and round the garden. And it seems like a nice quiet lane. We saw on the way through pubs, tea rooms,
exactly.
Shop,
lovely shop,
great.
That's very knowledgeable about wine, because there is a vineyard just a stone's throw away, so that could be your third drinking establishment.
That's definitely useful.
Well, in terms of the location, it sounds like it suits.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So we just need to see if the house does now.
Okay. Dating back to the early 1800s, this beautiful flint cottage is accessed by a porch added in the 21st century. Opposite the entrance is a handy cloakroom, and adjacent is the central hallway. It's presently used as a boot room and utility, with a set of stairs down to a large cellar. The central hallway above gives access to the reception rooms that include a family snug, a sitting room, and what I think is a very impressive kitchen added 8 years ago. It's where we're beginning our tour.
So you enter via that lovely boot room, utility room, into this space.
Oh, wow.
No, this is lovely. This is lovely.
I haven't yet seen you light up like this, Sarah.
No, this is much more the sort of thing that we like. The clean lines, the modern sort of contemporary look, but they've done it within the sort of country setting.
It's a house that's 200 years old.
Yeah.
And you can see elements of that. They've kept elements of that, especially as you come in through the quarry tile and that.
Yeah.
Utility floor is beautiful,
and
then they've put oak flooring in, because as you noticed outside, this is the extension.
Yeah, no, this is beautiful. I like having an island in the middle as well. That's nice.
And those French doors then out
straight
into the garden. And you are in a conservation area here. You can see that in the charm of the village and its surroundings.
Yeah.
That things have to be kept a certain way.
Well, it looks like when they built the extension, they had to follow the same theme, the flint.
Well, this is a good start. Let's go and see the rest. Follow me.
Back out along the hallway, we come to the largest of the ground floor rooms.
So this is the main living room, but obviously we've just passed another reception area on the way into here.
So nice cosy room with wood burner.
More shelves for your books. That's
good. Yeah. And interesting, the ceiling's quite small, but it doesn't feel small somehow.
How do you feel in here, Peter?
It's very nice. Plenty of room here, with the TV room, yes.
Well, let's hope the bedrooms please you, otherwise we're in trouble. So you've spotted the stairs to the cellar.
Yeah, that looks really exciting.
And then...
Oh, right. I thought it was a cupboard.
Up the secret staircase to the first floor, there's a small double furnished for a young child, a larger double with a Victorian fireplace and a modern family bathroom. But it's the bedroom in the new extension that I'd propose as the best one to suit Sarah and Peter.
This is wonderful. It's such a good size. This makes all sorts of things possible, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got 3 aspects as well. Plenty of light coming in.
And an ensuite behind you as well. Oh, yeah, have a look.
It's sort of contemporary, but yet old at the same time. I think they've done it beautifully.
Yes.
It's just lovely. Really, really nice.
Peter, she's sold, I think.
Yes. I think she is, yes. This is looking very positive. Everything to think about.
Well, let's head outside and talk about the price. Have a think about that.
To the front of the cottage, a wooden outbuilding used as a workshop sits in one corner of the large brick driveway. At the side of the house, just off the kitchen, is a paved dining spot. The back garden is mainly laid to lawn and bordered by fruit trees and shrubs, with a large brick patio offering an alternative dining space.
A southwest-facing garden.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Who would like to guess the price of this property?
I think it's going to be over the budget, and I'm going to guess at £620,000.
I'm going to be more optimistic. I would say 595.
The owners are asking for offers in excess of £500,000.
Oh, wow. That is a surprise.
Wow.
That's
Well, that's given us a lot to think about. Wow. Thank you.
we're gonna
I wish I could take all the credit. Have a look around.
and then come and find me. Thank you.
How they feel about this house has been written on their faces throughout our tour. I really hope they can make this work.
Coming in a whopping £100,000 below budget, this brick and flint cottage would leave Sarah and Peter with a huge pot of money to put towards furnishings and their hobbies. There are 3 bedrooms, an open-plan kitchen, diner and outdoor entertaining space for family and friends. It sits in a vibrant village close to the coast.
When we walked into the driveway, I just thought it looked a really beautiful house. I love the flint. The garden space seems to work really well because we've got different areas with sun at the different times of the day, and it's just the right sort of size for us, very manageable, which is what we were looking for. I can really imagine all the family being here. You could have quite a few people here without feeling crowded, so I think it's going to be lovely.
The room size is about the right size, I think, because we're downsizing and we need to sort of think about what we need to bring with us. We need to investigate the village itself and see what's there, but this is very positive and we'll have to think about this very seriously, yes.
It's quite an offering, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely. It gives us lots to think about.
And that's before you've even seen the mystery house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which we'd better get to soon.
Okay.
Mystery house, we're headed for pretty King Somborn in the Test Valley. A cluster of charming thatched cottages perched on quiet country lanes make up the heart of this village. Residents are served by simple amenities, a pub and the parish church of St Peter and St Paul with 12th century origins. For our final stop, we're dialing up character, which for our lovers of modern might be a bit of a risk.
Sarah and Peter, welcome to your mystery house.
Yeah, well, that's different.
It's your mystery house because it's a converted barn, but the house that you're looking at is mid-terrace and it's in the middle of a village. So it's a very unusual combination.
Yeah, very. Different again. It's got a very interesting roofline.
That's what happens with barns.
Yeah. Well, it is time to go inside, and the only thing I will reveal about the inside is we're going to head upstairs first. Okay.
Our Grade 2 mystery offering dates back to the 16th century. The front entrance, through a door in a line of glazed panelling, would have been the original barn doors. Inside, stairs in the hallway lead up to the first floor.
Ah, right. If you look up, you'll see why this is the living room.
It's stunning. And you can just smell all the wood. Oh, it's so very different from anything we've ever looked at. Knowing how you'd use it and live in it, you just have to get your head around that.
Well, I'll give you a clue. This is where you just relax, you read, you entertain, you have a view out at the front and you have a view out of the back.
And a log burning fire, contain fire, that's lovely. Special,
Yes.
isn't it? Very special.
We should think.
So you're just not sure what to say, really.
Well, if this room has made you speechless, I wonder what the kitchen is going to do.
Back across the landing at the top of the staircase lies another incredibly characterful room.
I'm pretty sure you've never seen a kitchen quite like this.
No, that's amazing.
Also very country cottagey.
It is, but
yet
contemporary. No, we said we didn't like beams.
Then we better get out of here.
Beams, but actually these are just something else. Stunning, I think, is the only word you can use, really.
And how do you feel about the upside down living?
I don't mind that at all, do you?
No, I don't mind that.
It's only a one-flight staircase, and you can see the advantage of having it up here, getting the light, and the little windows. I noticed they've got beanbags so you can sit and actually look out.
Peter, in the car, you were fearing perhaps that I would show you a thatched or a house with small room dimensions, but there are elements here that you perhaps weren't really looking for.
Yes, I've seen loads of houses with wooden beams in and everything, but they're very claustrophobic. So barn conversions, I don't think we have a problem with because they do open up that space.
The other unconventional thing about this house, of course, with the living room upstairs, is that you'd be sleeping downstairs. Follow me.
Down on ground level, the bedrooms are back to something they're more familiar with, clean lines and modern interiors. Two are double guest rooms, one of which has full-height windows, and both are served by a fully tiled family bathroom. The third and final ensuite bedroom is the largest.
Main bedroom. And this looks out onto the back garden. You've got a wet room ensuite there. You could roll in from having a glass of wine in the garden straight into bed.
This is true.
No need to stagger up the stairs.
And nice cupboards as well.
Yeah, every room has got cupboard space.
Yeah. We've got two houses we can give lots of thoughts to.
A long discussion about it.
I think we're going to have to come back and have a look.
Sounds like that might be a good idea.
We've got to be very practical and think we meet our needs, I think.
Well, one practicality is the price. So let's go outside and discuss that.
Okay.
And that may help focus the mind.
Okay, thank you.
They're making some very quick decisions about the mystery house, and we haven't even finished the tour. French doors on the ground floor open onto a paved patio outside. From here, there's a covered pathway with a dedicated dining area at the far end. There's also a handy shed and a mature, well-stocked garden with lawn.
It's quite an English country garden here.
It's beautifully planted. So
Seem to have fitted a lot into a small area, which is amazing.
Well, it's certainly been positive this afternoon. Who would like to guess the price of this property?
I think this is towards the top end of our budget. So I'm probably going to go, I'm not varying very much, am I? But I'm going to go back to 595, I think.
I'm going to suggest this is on the market for something like £610,000.
You'll both be pleased to know it's on the market at the moment for £535,000.
Oh no, that is a surprise.
Yes, that's good.
That's given us some really hard thinking and decisions to make there now.
Hard but good options.
Yeah, very. Super.
Have a wander round.
Thank you.
A welcome £65,000 below budget, this handsome 16th century barn conversion has an upside-down arrangement with 3 bedrooms, a kitchen diner and a stunning living space. It has a mature yet manageable garden and lies in a pretty village with amenities to hand. And despite being the furthest of our offerings from the coast, this lovely home appears to be a very strong contender.
The mystery house is unusual. Its living is upside down, something that was never done in the past. And the idea of a converted barn, although it was on the back of our minds, was not really something that we would have sort of hung in on the very outset. There's a couple of houses that we've seen that look as if they're good possibilities. The price on those houses are very good.
This mystery house is blown us away, really. It's so different, so unusual, so beautiful, and the village location looks good. We need to look into that a bit more, but that looks good too. I think our hearts have responded to it. We'll probably have to go away and do a bit of head work about how it would work with our lifestyles.
Are you ready to go?
Yes, you've given us so much to think about, a real problem here we've got to sort.
I'll make it up by giving you time to think. How about that?
Yes, fine.
Gail?
Thank you.
As a county with a long naval history, it's fitting that it should be in Hampshire waters, where King Henry VIII's warship, the Mary Rose, was raised more than 4 centuries after she sank. Following decades of painstaking preservation, I've come to Portsmouth's Mary Rose Museum to learn about this mighty vessel from original salvage diver Christopher Dobbs.
Chris, lovely to meet you.
Great to see you as well.
She is incredible.
She is, isn't it? I mean, it's just unbelievable to think that this survived for 437 years under the sea. It is amazing. I'm glad you feel like that.
How much of the ship do you have here?
Well, this is about half the ship. So we've got almost the whole of the starboard side and a little bit of the port side, but it's cut away. It's a cutaway section, a bit like a doll's house.
Many of us will have learnt about the Mary Rose at school when we were learning about the Tudors. She was a warship, wasn't she?
Yes, and one of the really significant things, it was a warship that belonged to Henry VIII, and it had a long and active service life until it sank in 1545.
Built from timber hewn from over 600 large oak trees, the Mary Rose was discovered by a diving team after 6 years of searching.
And it's incredible to think that this was completely buried under the seabed. So the only objects, the only timbers that were showing above the seabed itself with those 3 timbers there with the orange tags above the seabed
she
in
was
70,
that
71.
way, yeah.
So she was over on her side, and everything else was completely hidden underneath the silt.
And then it was time to raise her.
Now, on that day, I was actually one of the 3 divers from the Melrose Trust team, and I was actually underwater when the ship first came off the seabed, so I saw it going up into the air from underneath, and that was an incredible experience.
Chris and the team not only raised the ship, but also hundreds of artefacts belonging to the crew, which had been incredibly preserved by the silt. A total of 19,000 objects were found, owned by the 415 crew members on board, giving a faithful idea of the Tudor way of life.
So Chris, what do we have here?
Well, we've got this fantastic collection of objects. So, we've got shoes, we've got bowls, we've got plates, we've got daggers, we've got spoons, we've got even knit cones. And they give us an insight into the people that were on board this ship when it sank. What's great about the shoes, we've got another in our collection that actually has a hole in the bottom. This one hasn't, but it's actually been worn right the way through underneath. And that tells us that person had really bad bones in his feet, and they were wearing out the shoe in a particular way. And it's those little insights we can get into these people's lives that makes it so special.
And I suppose you would have found things that didn't really belong on the ship.
There are items that are completely unexpected, like we've got rosaries. I mean, to find rosaries on board Henry VIII's warship when, Catholic practices were really being phased out, if not banned, I mean, that just shows us that they're not going to just stop praying with a rosary just because the king wants to be...
It was still going on, it was just under cover.
Exactly. If the Melrose hadn't sunk and been buried so quickly, these objects wouldn't have ever turned up.
How rare is it to see items like this in such good condition from the Tudor period?
Well, it's almost unheard of. We have all the wooden objects, the organic objects that simply don't survive on land. That's why we have this collection representing all levels of society, not just the gold and silver and pewter.
This has caught my eye.
This was the bee's knees of watches in those days. But if I show you a replica here, it's actually a pocket sundial. You have to correct it for the north and south, so you have to orient it correctly with the compass. And then the sun strikes the moment and tells you the time of day. But I think they would have been completely useless because, the sails would be in the way.
Really?
It would be raining anyway.
You've ruined it.
And there's a bell saying what the time is every half hour. Tummy time. It'd be more accurate than that.
Chris, thank you so much for showing me around today. It's been absolutely fascinating.
Well, as you can see, it's just so exciting, this project. Just fantastic.
What an amazing insight into the decades of conservation that have revealed our hidden histories. With some parts of the Mary Rose still laying in the Solent awaiting excavation, there's plenty more treasures left to uncover.
Well, time to find out if Peter and Sarah have been able to pick between the 2 houses we've seen today.
Well, Peter and Sarah,
I think it's been a very productive week.
What's the plan? You won't be surprised to know that we love the Flint House. We just want to explore the area around Hamilton a bit more and potentially get a second viewing because we really like it.
Some local research.
Yeah.
Do a bit of local research.
And also measuring up and just getting a real sense of where our things might actually go.
What do you think you've learnt over the past couple of days through this process?
The houses that we have viewed were completely different to what we were expecting in terms of old properties. So that's surprised us because we weren't necessarily looking at that age. These have been done tastefully.
Your heads can work things out fairly swiftly, so your hearts can start enjoying the next phase of your life.
Thank you.
And let me know when you've made some decisions.
We'll let you know what happens.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
The past couple of days of house hunting here in Hampshire have been so useful in showing Peter and Sarah what they can buy within their budget and also in helping them decide what they're willing to compromise on. Remember, they're about to sail into uncharted waters, having both retired recently, but they're very eager to make the move soon. So it's great news that they want a second viewing of the Flint House. We wish them the very best of luck. See you next time on Escape to the Country.
Vì ai bị cần phải hỗ trợ ai bị phải đi là chuyển chuyển sang xung quanh find anyone to resent me crying. I cannot always walk with you but một là khi say hay khi đã rồi lúc buồn bực sao cố quên những ký trong gió chương trình thành vực sắc sỡ dì xe sập tay tập giỏi quá này một sắc son êm này trong năm sau có ai đều không một là hay sai khi đã yêu ai rồi